Hello, this is your girl, supermodel Miss Liris Crosse. Please check me out on Vitamin D with Dawn Dai as we talk about my new book, Make the World Your Runway. Because I got you, girl.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
How you doing, Liris?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's so good to see your face.
Oh, thank you. I am loving this red lippy you have on.
I just said, let me just pop a little color, in this fall moment.
You did that, honey.
It's so interesting. We ran in the circle together. So a good friend of mine who you actually recorded the intro to his show, Timothy Snell.
Yes.
So I was on the show with Snell. I was his assistant on the show along with Najee McKenzie. So I was talking to him the other day. He said, yes, you better get her. And so we had a whole Kiki moment over you.
Oh, I love him. I think he just has such a beautiful spirit. And you already know he has great style. Okay.
And it's just amazing, having that at the forefront, which transfers into the conversation that I want to talk to you about today.
Okay, let's go in.
And I was sitting here and I'm thinking, I talked to Purvis and he was saying the rave reviews about you. And of course, I am familiar with your body of work. I lived in New York myself. And, Vitamin D, this podcast, I don't know if you're familiar. It's all about shedding light, okay? It's a pun off of my name. So I'm shedding light on different ways to think about life and different opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. And so as I'm gearing up and I'm thinking about having you on here, the first thing that came to my mind was the whole notion of I'm possible. And you know how sometimes even looking at the word, impossible, but how you've been able to separate that to go into a positive moment that has propelled you to be such an inspiration to so many people.
Well, if you look at the word impossible, if you break it up, it's I'm impossible.
Hello?
Impossible. And when we remember that we are able to achieve anything we've really put our mind to, and if we're really up to doing the work. So I actually even have a t-shirt that X's out the I'm. That breaks up the impossible. So you see that it means I'm possible. The possibilities are endless.
Come on.
With hard work, dedication, and sometimes natural talent, but sometimes it's beyond natural talent. It's just the hard work and the favor of God opening doors for you.
Hello, somebody.
Look, a lot of times I think that God is just waiting to see what we are willing to do, what we are willing to sacrifice, or how much hard work we're willing to put up to make our dreams come true. And he's like, I did a post about this in my Liris Motivates hashtag about how we have to do what we can in the natural, and then God puts his super on it.
Hello.
But he can't put his super on anything if you're not doing your part within the natural. So you got to go do your part, and then he's going to activate and put the super on what you're naturally already doing.
And I love that.
Thank you. But it's just truth.
There's a thing where we have to say, and I guess if we talk biblically speaking, faith without works is dead. So we have to make sure that we exercise what we have right now. And then, like you said, put God's hands on it. And it made me think of the notion that sometimes I think we can get in our own way of trying to figure out how God is going to do it. And I even had this conversation with myself today.
Oof. Yeah. He literally can catch us off guard. And it goes back to what I was saying. It's like, just get working. Start that business. Just apply for the schools. Whatever it is that you want to do, just get moving. And it's amazing that once you just start to work in your purpose or move in your goals, how the help starts to come around. The loose ends start to tie.
Come on.
The way becomes, you have a way maker out of the way. You know what I mean?
Hello?
Like things start to happen, but you just have to move. You just have to get going. You just have to do. So once we just start doing and moving, it's amazing what starts to come around us and support us. And we got, sometimes it's like overthinking is not trusting in him.
They say if you're going to worry about it, then don't pray about it.
We have to let go.
Truly.
We got to trust and we got to let go.
And I love that.
Oh, I think it's going to happen this way. It may not happen that way. It may happen this way. Just move. Just go. Just do. Just be. Yeah.
And speaking of just being, and it's so interesting because this conversation is going to spearhead of how you've allowed your yes to yourself propel you in your life, because there were no's that came your way. And
hella no's.
And just to know that you hold the crown.
Still getting those.
Yeah. And to know you have the crown as like the Naomi Campbell of plus size modeling. Like, that's a big deal. That's a moment. But see, what I love about it is just like when we think about life, right? We look at, they started here and then the finish, but we realize it's in the journey. And in this journey, you've propelled and gave birth to a beautiful baby. You have your book that we're going to be talking about today about making the world your runway.
Yeah, right there. My book. I'm so excited about that.
And I want to talk to you about
available on Amazon.
Hello, number one. And I want to talk about the fact of you talking about that because, like you said before, being in a position where you're believing in yourself, right? And making sure you hold on to that childlike behavior and even piggybacking off of what you said, your quote. If you think it, you can do it. Period, right? So I want to know a little bit about you and how you started off, because how did you know that you were possible?
Ooh. I always say it's kind of two different things. My father, God rest his soul, was just very motivating. My father spoke life into me, my mom as well, but there's just something special about a father's love for his daughter. And my father spoke life to me. He told me I could do anything. He told me I was beautiful. He told me I was awesome. And they came together when I decided I wanted to move to New York to pursue my modeling dreams. They came together and supported me in that. They gave me their blessing and their okay. But when I was a little girl, my dad was running for Congress. There was a photographer who came to the house to do his brochure pictures. And he's taking some pictures of my dad, and he took pictures of us as a family. And then he said, do you mind if I take some extra pictures of your daughter? So I'm just hamming it up, taking my pictures. And, back then they had to go develop the film and bring it back to you like a week or two later. So we get the film back, and he printed out this 8x10 print of me. And he said, your daughter's really photogenic. You should really get her into modeling. And that seed, I wish I knew this photographer's name to this day, but those words were the seed that were planted in me that made me believe that I could model and I could do anything. And then my father was like my first photographer. My father loved taking pictures as well as being in front of the camera. So, I got my practice in front of the camera with my dad, as well as remembering what that photographer said. And it stuck with me for years because also I'm a PK, so I'm a preacher's kid. So they weren't in a rush to get me into modeling. That wasn't like, oh yeah, we're going to push her off into modeling. But as I got older and matured, and they saw like, she's really serious about this. And I'm always watching fashion TV to see the models doing all the shows out in Paris and Milan and London. they're like, that mountain bug still hasn't gone away. And now she's doing the local mall fashion show and this and that. But I definitely say it is that seed from that photographer and just the seeds of my parents speaking life into me and telling me that I could do anything that I really put my mind to. Those are the things that propelled me to feel I could do what was the impossible as far as moving to New York to pursue my modeling dreams. That's why I even talk about in the book how important it is for parents to embrace the different gifts and abilities that are in their children's lives. Because you never know. You might be the parent who's getting upset at your one child who always breaks his toys and is trying to figure out ways to put it back together. That could be a future engineer.
Hello.
That child that's very talkative and is always challenging you, maybe they're supposed to be a lawyer. Hello. We have to really speak life and help children as well as adults too, because there are a lot of adults who are still finding their purpose and or they're shifting from one career to a new career because they didn't realize, I started doing this job because this is what my parents said was like, guns versus butter, type of job. But now I realize I'm really into this and I'm gifted in this. And they're doing a shift, but we have to support people and especially children with letting them find their ways and embracing the different gifts and talents that they have, because just because your sister failed at it, it doesn't mean that your daughter's going to fail at it.
Hello?
Just because Miss Jenkins across the hall didn't do well in that career, that doesn't mean that your son isn't going to do well in that career. A lot of times we're pushing our own fears onto other people and it's blocking them, or they're allowing what is said to them to block them from really going after their purpose, their new career, whatever it is. So we have to be mindful and careful with that.
And I love that because I am a advocate, a component. Like, Liris, I'm so serious about speaking life. I have life tatted in my mouth because I'm all,
wow.
Look, you want to see?
Let me see. Wow.
Very first tattoo, but it's because I'm an advocate. I am so gung-ho about speaking life. Like you said, with that seed invested in you. So like with my nephews. And in fact, I was just watching the new film on Netflix called Jingle Jangle. Mm-hmm. And it's with Forrest Whitaker, Anika Noni Rose is in there, and a few other upcoming actors. But that was one thing that I thought was key. It was like the Black version of Disney, and you saw the importance of how speaking life into her husband, speaking life into this little girl who was unconventional with her methodology of putting kinks together. And it just reminded me, and it's so good to know that there are people out there that understand and how important these instruments on the side of our heads are. Once I read how someone said that your ears are like an embryo. What you feed into them allows them to grow. And so we see how this seed has propelled you in a life that many people would have dreamed. Many people who had stopped when the first no, because guess what? It wasn't a roadblock. It was just a step up. But there's a muscle that takes to that. So I think it's so interesting as we're talking about how you literally made your life, your runway, how you got the looks and the attention of before you were going to New York of these model agencies saying they want you, but it seemed as though they were trying to slight you with, hey, you might need to lose weight. How did you handle that?
Well, I mean, at first I did try to lose the weight, but when you are just naturally a curvy woman, a curvy young lady, at that time, you can only lose but so much. I mean, I played sports year round. I did cheerleading, then I did basketball, then I did track and field. So it wasn't like I was just sitting around, not being active and eating a bunch of stuff every day. I was a really active child. I'm just naturally been curvy ever since I was a little girl. So I tried to do it their way, and then it just didn't work. I didn't fit in. And then I said, let me figure out a way to make them adjust to me. Let me take the thing that they think is going against me, and let me show them that it's not a liability, it's actually an asset.
Come on.
So
Liris, you listen. You get me so excited. I talk about your life bank account, and I talk about how my motto is that you are your greatest asset. What are the deposits versus liabilities you are placing in your life? Girl, you better speak. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it's the truth. A lot of times the things that we think count against us are actually the things that make us unique, that make us different, that make us stand out. So at the beginning of my career, when I was like doing music videos and stuff, I was the thickest girl on set. But to me, I felt special because of it. Yeah, I may not have felt so special when I go to wardrobe and all they have is stuff to fit girls who are a size 2 to a size 6, and they want to like put you in a bathing suit just because that's the only thing they have that really stretches. But that's why I would be prepared. I would come to set with my own clothes. You're not going to just throw me in anything just because I'm the fullest girl on set. So yeah, I figured, let me stand in the truth of who I am. And also let me go where I'm celebrated. So that's why, even though I was signed to a major New York agency at the time, I said, well, let me go work, do some music videos, because maybe they'll accept me a little bit more. And I helped to pave the way for fuller bodies in music videos during that time. And then I said, well, that opened doors within the urban fashion scene, whether it was like 𝘍𝘍, Mecca, all that stuff. So, and I'm like, they're embracing me, so let me run with it. And that's what I did. And I'm glad that I did, because each level helped to give me skills and ability to prepare me for the next level. So, okay, I mastered this. Music videos taught me how to get ready to be in front of the camera for major acting roles. Not only that, it helped me to be a better model. It helped me to learn set terminology, all of those things. If you really take inventory and learn and be a sponge wherever you are. So, I mean, I'm really glad that, that I allowed myself to go through the process, and I didn't allow the no's to deter me from pushing forward. I was glad that I was able to find an agency that I didn't even know that plus modeling existed when I started. The lady who had sent me to my first agency just said, I'm going to send you to an agency that has women that look like you. And I was like, okay. I get there, and it was Wilhelmina Models, and it was their 10/20 board, and they had beautiful women who were anywhere between a size 8 to a size 20, and they just had more meat on their bones. And I'm like, if this is where I have to be able to make my dreams come true, so be it. And I got in there, and I dug in, and I just continued to try to find my way, period.
So was it easier trying to change yourself, or did you find it easier being yourself?
I found it easier being myself, but that doesn't mean that you still aren't going through the process or the storm.
Come on.
Because if society has a cookie cutter standard requirements or ways that you have to fit in, an industry, it has that, then you're trying to fit into what they are asking for, But I had to just say, okay, I'm here, but I'm just going to keep finding my way. I'm going to keep pushing through. And although I'm being myself, sometimes it takes a second for people to catch on, appreciate, see where you're coming from, and say, you know what? I know we said we were looking for girls who are size 6, but she's beautiful. And she's got a great body. She has a great energy. She's photogenic. Let's use her. We're wasting our time. We're sleeping on her. Let's use her. And those are the things that those are the moments that just started to happen. And I helped to create change, and I'm thankful for that.
You know, it just reminded me, you know, you talked about, you gotta say how things are boxed in. And, you know, we hear it all the time. If you're a girl that loves to get her beauty, you hear about a beauty box. And if we think about it, trying to conform to sit in a box, how uncomfortable. But see, here's the thing. I was thinking about myself. This year has been very transformational. And I always tell people that, it isn't that it's easy because I'm growing in ways, right? So if we're asking God, if we're saying, hey, I aspire to be at this level. If we even take it back, if we want to say, biblically speaking, of just like being in the potter's house, and you think about that clay. It's about to be molded. It's about to be pulled. It's about to be, contorted in a way so that it can fit. And guess what? I still got to test you under the fire because there's some strength that needs to, so that you can have the capacity to hold. And so I love that you said that, because I think sometimes just the way society is made up, we strive to conform, but we forget that we're celebrated for being different.
Yes. And I call the process, I call it the pruning, because it's like the cutting away of things to make you bloom even more. You know, a flower, when we get flowers, it always says, cut some of the stems off and it'll help your flowers to bloom. And you got to shake that little powder and put it in the vase with the water. It helps it to bloom even more. But guess what? Cutting on those flowers, it hurts. Maybe putting the flowers in the cold water, but when you go through that process and then you're able to see the flower and it blooms and the fragrance is all over your house and the petals have opened up and they've made this beautiful shape, you're like, oh, okay. It had to go through the process. And I think sometimes what's a little scary about society now, a lot of people want to jump the process. They want to jump the process, but the process is where you get the skills and the tools so you're able to maintain where you're going. Because if you really want to go to another level, you need to know that you're able to carry this amount of weight. You need to know that you're able to go through this and that and still come out stronger and better. You have to go through the process. The process is how you get ready for your next level and your next level and your next level and your next level and your next level. That's just the truth. So don't fight the process or abandon the process. Go through the process.
Come on.
Be a victor in the process. Be a champion of the process. Show the process who's really boss.
I love that. And it's just, as you were saying, like going up to each level. If we look at like we're ascending in our lives. And the reason I think it's so important, because it's that focus you got to have, because that wind is going to blow. The rain is going to come, but you have to be in assurance that as long as you can look up, you can get up and you know where you're going, because guess what? You got an idea of where you've been. And if you know that's not where you want to be, then the question is, where are you going and when are you going to make the decision? Had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day and wants to pursue modeling a male. And I told him, I said, well, you're going to have to start showing up for yourself. Because if I had waited, Liris, I would have never even had been on the show with Timothy Snell, because I would have said I'm not tall enough. And just like how you said initially coming to the conversation, how important it is to just do it. came on the show to get auditioned to get a makeover. They said, Dawn, like how you said, there's a pivot and there's a way when you walk in your truth. Hey, you already have a fashion sense. How would you like to get paid to be on the show? Don't tell me how my guy doesn't work. Lo and behold, Timothy Snell, one of my people that I've looked up to in the industry who kind of gave an affirmation that I'm possible is Queen Latifah. Oh, you just happen to be the premier stylist? But guess what? Dawn had to show up. And as you were talking and you talked about how the flower and pruning the flower, you said something that was interesting that I think a lot of people can relate to. You talk about this, the temperature of the water, a little cold, right? And we do this thing in life where we like to just test it. Oh, is it too cold? You're jumping back. And in some instance, we can review that testing in kind of like our level of confidence. And I know that's something that you talk about a lot. What is this all deal, how the importance of confidence? And then you talk about the notion of having a curvy confidence.
Well, okay. Confidence is important because when we are able to have confidence, we're able to go out into the world and really, I believe, stand boldly in our purpose.
Come on.
Try different things, be who we really feel we are when we're confident. And curvy confidence is kind of related to my curvy sisters, my plus size sisters, my full figure sisters out there, because
Liris, you left out for
which is
a
lot. So I had to, I have to put dubs on it and say curvy confidence. I want you to stand boldly in your curvy confidence. I want you to remember that even though you are thick or fat, whether that's a PHAT or a FAT, that you are still awesome and beautiful just as you are, that God don't make no junk.
Come on.
Period.
What?
Period. And your curvy confidence is important because if we really paid attention to the messages that are out there that program us and tell us who we are supposed to be, and this has been going on for eons, hundreds of years. You know, you're supposed to look like this and your body's supposed to be this way. And if you're this size, you know, all these stigmas attached. Well, if you're over 150 pounds, you're lazy, you're this, you're not good enough. That's a lie. So stand in your curvy confidence. Know who you are. Know that your size doesn't limit you from where you can go in your life. Your size doesn't limit the fact, doesn't tell you that you aren't beautiful. Please. Some of the most beautiful women I know, plus size queens.
Come on.
Curvy queens. So stand in your curvy confidence, because when you are sure of who you are in your heart, in your body, and in your mind, I'm telling you, when you go out into the world, that curvy confidence, it bleeds into everything that you do. It bleeds into how you talk, how you walk, how you command a room. So that's why your curvy confidence is so important.
Wow. And I just even like how you describe that. And just as your book, Make the World Your Runway, because when you think about it, when somebody's on the runway, all eyes on her. All eyes on him. Yes. And we need to walk with our heads up as if the world is watching, because they are. And like you said, when you decide to show up as you are, be confident and bold as you are, you give people permission to treat you as the king or queen that you are.
Yes. And like Make the World Your Runway my book is like, I'm not asking you to be Liris, because there's only one Liris. This is the book for you to help you be your best you. For you to be successful, for you to be confident, for you to redefine your purpose. That's what Make the World Your Runway is about. This book is like, it takes situations from my model life And if you were to smash a life class together, that's what this book is about. It's the owner's manual for you to be your best you.
Wow.
Because how we show up in the world is how we color the world.
Ha, say it
when
again.
You show up with your freckles. When you show up with your somebody has big red hair. When you show up with your outfit with your fringe or your thigh-high boots, or, how you dress, how you speak, how you command the room. When you look good, you feel good.
Come on.
When you feel good, those feelings color the world. So that's you making the world your runway. How you show up in life, that's how you make the world your runway.
Oh my gosh, you got me feeling all butterflies and stuff inside. I almost trying to bust out and start walking up here right now. Let's go. So let's dive into the book.
Please get the book. The book is on Amazon. You can go to Amazon.com, put in Make the World Your Runway, or put in my name, Liris Crosse. Or if you would like a signed copy, go to my website, which is liris.com. Click on the book tab and then scroll down to the PayPal button and order your book.
There you have it. And, just to have an idea of you gracing the covers of American Vogue, Essence, British Cosmopolitan, Vibe, it goes on and on. But now you've changed the tune. And I think just like you talked about in your book and how you've mentioned, the first thing you've been talking about is just purpose, finding your purpose. And I feel like purpose is kind of like roots, right? It's the foundation of what we stand on. And thank God, just like you had a loving father, both parents, but having that seed, that planted, and here you are. You've graced so many covers, so many runways. And now you say, you know what? Let me use this branch and give out some more in these pages that are now I can color life in a different way. And we talk about like just some of the principalities that you mentioned in your book. Talked about living your purpose. Mm-hmm. How does one necessarily prepare for a success that they may not feel like it's in grasp of their hands?
Say that again.
How would you say, you mentioned in your book having a preparation for success, right? Mm-hmm. How does one get prepared if they don't know that they can grab it?
Ooh. Well, this is the thing. We don't know till we try.
Hello?
You don't know till you try. And my thing is this, you may try and it may not totally work immediately, or it may not be the thing that you realize is for you. But if you try something, you're going to figure out the next move for yourself. There are instruments that I've tried. And I'm like, you know what? I thought I would like this, but I didn't like this. Or I'm not that great at this. But then what did it then teach me? It taught me an appreciation for different styles of music. Mm-hmm. It helped me to gain a new friend, maybe in a class, or met somebody who was the coach, and we have a long-standing friendship, and then that person introduced me to someone else. The thing is, you never know till you try. Prepare, though. Prepare by taking the class, reading the course, gathering information, immersing yourself in the culture of whatever it is that you want to do. When you come to the situation as prepared as possible, that's a game changer. Because think about it. When you prepare for a test, you have a certain level of confidence.
Come on.
And you're able to go after it a whole lot better. So you may not be the math whiz, but because you really studied and you really got all the information that you needed for this test, I guarantee you this, you're going to have a better try, and you're probably going to have way better results than if you didn't. So just prepare and just try. You're not going to know if you're going to succeed or not until you try.
And as they say, nothing beats failure. Nothing beats failure but a try.
Yeah. And we also learn from failure. Some of the things, think about some of the situations in your life that didn't work out how you wanted to, but you got a lesson or a skill, or you got a perspective that helped to change your life for the better. Failure, a lot of times, is just a rerouting to put us on a new path or a different path, or for us to learn something about ourselves. So we can't even look at failure as really failing, because if you're open, you're able to learn within your mistakes.
And being open is where like the best things flow. Come on. Because I'm not trying to hold on to it. I'm trying to move and flow with it.
Yes, yes. I invite ease into my life. I don't want to have to fight for jobs anymore. I don't want to fight for abundance. I believe in ease. I believe in abundance. And I just do my part and let life happen. But I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm getting as prepared as possible for whatever it is that I want to do. But I've invited ease into my life, and literally the past few years have been amazing. I've rested in ease. I know I come prepared. I know that I'm capable of doing my job, and I'm letting whatever jobs or situations or people find me. Period. I don't want to fight for what?
Right.
I didn't work for many years. I don't work too hard. No. Let me rest in this ease and know that God is capable. God is abundant. God sees the work that I'm doing, and he's going to continue to put the super on my natural. And I'm all about the supernatural.
I'm up here just rocking because I just happened to think of Purvice's book. And it just, because just like you said, when we're constantly in this tug of war, it's a fight. And it's like, when do you stop surviving and understanding that it's time to live? And then I just thought of Purvis Taylor and his book, Surthrival. I'm trying to thrive with my life. Let's get to the next level. And it was just so interesting as you were just talking about the whole notion of when we're failing, right? And how important it is, because how we find another way not to do something. But I look at some opportunities that didn't work out as I thought they should have. And I realized that indeed I wasn't ready yet. And I think when we get that ease, when we allow the supernatural, because we've already put the intentions out there, right?
Yes.
So allowing God to do the work, I realized that there were some things I had to pick up, because if we're constantly trying to force something to make it happen, it's just the same as you taking a flower out of the ground and expecting it to thrive for weeks at a time. That's not how it works. We got to cultivate the soil. We got to make sure the nutrients are there. And then guess what? And this soil is dirty.
Yes.
It's dark. But it's full of life.
Yes.
And even no matter how much the crap everybody want to put on, guess what? It ain't nothing but a little fertilizer.
That's right.
And that's why I think it's so interesting in your book as well. Make the world your runway. You talk about this whole notion of finding your voice, but then also building your it factor. What is that about?
Your it factor is like the special thing about you. I feel like we are all born with like a secret sauce, a it factor, the thing that makes us special, whether it's a skill or whether it's your voice or whether it's your smile or it's the way that you see and process things. We all have a it factor. We have a thing that, like, it's like somebody, this person's a dancer, but the person that makes that person an amazing dancer is they have a certain je ne sais quoi about them. So a lot of times we have to find like, what is the secret sauce to our recipe? What is the thing that is unique about us? The things, and I'm going back to something I said earlier, a lot of times the thing that we think is our flaw or our liability, a lot of times can be our asset. That can be the it factor. That can be the game changer. That can be the difference in our lives. So take inventory and find that special thing about you. What sets you apart? What makes you different? It's just like sometimes people will say, well, did you see such and such person? I can't believe they stole my idea. But that person can do the same thing that you do, but they're not going to do it like how you do it when you do it at all, because you are you. So when you rest in the it factor and what you bring to the table, that's a game changer. That's a game changer.
I had to exhale because it just reminds me, and there's a song, I just had my little praise going on this morning with the Clark sisters. And there's in one song, it talks about resting in your Father's hands. And despite what's going on, peace, be still. Just be easy, going with the flow, understanding that the persistence may look like it's a resistance, but actually it is an assistance to get you where you gotta go. So speaking of that, what do you hope people will take away when they purchase your book?
Ooh. Actually, it's one of the things that I usually sign inside the book. And that is deepened purpose, renewed mindset, and of course, confidence. Because there's going to be certain things in the book that you're like, oh, I knew that before. Yeah, but you needed to be reminded of it.
Hello, somebody.
You needed to be reminded of it. Or, you know what? I went through that situation before, but I didn't look at it that way. That's that renewed mindset. You know, or if it gives you the confidence. I had a lady who has been a nurse, and she had some artistic things that she's always wanted to do. And she said, after reading your book, I had the confidence to put words to the ideas that I have been holding on for years and voice that to my husband and my family and say, I know that I'm a nurse and I know that this is what I do, but I also want to do this. And she was like, thank you for giving me the confidence through your book to find the confidence which was already in me. Because truthfully, all the tools that we need is already
Come
in
on,
us.
Liris, come on. Come on.
We just have to tap in. Tap in. It's
They don't
already
say
there.
find your true potential. They say tap into your true potential.
Like I think it's Saweetie, tap in. Tap in.
What? Facts. Facts on facts on facts.
Tap in.
This is the thing. Hello, somebody. You know, you were talking, and this is a quote that came to me years ago, because I feel like I'm old now, but when I was in college, I went to Howard HU, but a quote came across me, and it said, what allows a diamond to shine are the multitudes of cuts that have been placed within it. One of the strongest minerals in the world, but it's glorified for its imperfections. What do I mean by that? It's those cuts, whether it says no, it's those self-reflections that may not be easy. It's another cut of whatever challenge or obstacle, but just like you said, and how you've been saying in the book since you got on here, whether it's finding your purpose, tapping into your true potential, but finding you when you decide to step in the light. Hello, vitamin D. When you decide to step in the light, you began to be your great asset. And guess what? You allow a reflection. You start to color the world, because when a diamond shines, what happens? We see red, blue, yellow, green. Now, if only that we can get that reflection in ourselves. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for that book.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud how it is helping other people to, like you said, see the reflection, see themselves in a new way. Yeah, you looked in the mirror every day, but now that you've been reading the book, you're looking at yourself real different. You're seeing yourself with a set of new eyes. You're seeing yourself with a new mindset. So you're stepping outside your door and you're attacking life way different than you did before. You're stepping out in your purpose. You're being your best you. You're being more authentic.
Come on.
And that's what it's all about. Because my thing is this, when we all truly step into our purpose and we are living our best lives.
Come on.
Think about the domino effect that has on our whole society. How much, you know how they say how much stronger we are as a unit? We're so much stronger when we stand in our purpose, when we're living purposefully, when we're living confidently, when we are really stepping out and being authentic. We're able to really make this world a better place, really make America great.
Hello. Hello. And just as you said, it's like another thing. It is a domino effect. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, imagine, and we're all these stars twinkling in the sky, and we aggregate it together to be of some type of assimilation of that of the sun, the light that we shine. And here's the thing. When they say, even treat thy neighbor as you treat yourself, right?
Yes.
Well, if I walk in authority and I walk in glorifying who I am and who I'm meant to be, it's like dealing with somebody that has an all white outfit on. We're both making sure we stay clean. I'm making sure that you're good and I'm good, because I would want the best for myself as I would want for you.
Yes.
And like you said, when you do that, it's not a sense of what's taken. That's that whole fighting thing that you talked about. It's an overflow. And the well doesn't run dry. Stop it.
Yes. And sidebar, and serve from your overflow.
Come on. I will admit, I have in my life, I've been guilty of not giving to Dawn first. And not in a selfish sense, but to say, let me make sure that I can offer my authentic self, because whether it be my relationships, whether it be my job or my family, I need to show up as Dawn. And sometimes that overextension of yourself is forgetting about yourself. And guess what? That lack that I gave to myself is the lack upon you. And just like you said, that domino effect.
Yep. And look, and that is a balancing act that is always going to, a lot of times, go out of whack for a lot of us, especially being Americans, because we're brought up to go, 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 go. But my thing is, once you know better, you do better. So once you realize, okay, I've been putting other people first. Okay, let me recalibrate. Let me start over. Let me hit the reset button. This month, I'm going to focus on getting back on track to serve from my overflow. And for those people who may not understand what we're talking about, it's like the cup with the saucer is the candle, but the cup with the saucer, you want to serve from here. You don't want to serve from an empty cup, because you done ran here, did this for everybody else, and then you have nothing left for you. Take care of you, be good to you, and then serve from the overflow that you have after taking care of you.
And then when all that's said and done, we need to make sure the world knows that it's our runway, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. So get out there, work. If you want to take 2021, okay, 2020 has been some type of year, but I'm going to work on 2021. I want to look good. I want to feel good, because when you look good, you feel good, and I want everybody's inside and outside to evenly match, And that's what this book is about. That's what this book is about.
If you can think it, you can do it. So tell us again, where can we find the book?
Please get the book on Amazon. It is available worldwide. And also go to my website if you would like a signed copy at lirisc.com, lirisc.com, and hit the book tab and then scroll to the bottom and click on that PayPal button. And I will get a signed copy to you as soon as possible.
I love it. And if people are listening and they say, wow, this Curvy Queen is the shiznil, I want to follow you, where can they find you on social media?
Yes, please follow me at on Instagram and Twitter at Liris C, which is LIRISC. On Facebook, I have a public figure page as well as a personal page, but my personal page also allows you to follow me. But those are both under Liris Crosse. My last name is Crosse with a E at the end. So I always say Iris with an L in front of it, Crosse with an E at the end.
Well, Liris, I want to thank you so much for showing up in your authentic self.
Oh, thank you so much.
For making the decision to live life on purpose and for a purpose. To being an advocate of something that I have modeled my life after, and that as far as speaking life. And to blessing the world with something that you found was an asset or a gift to yourself to share in your overflow with your book, Make the World Your Runway. Thank you.
Thank you. This was a great chat. I really appreciate it.
Shimmy, yes.
Yes, honey.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about